When's the last time you talked to the former president, President Trump?
Within the last week.
Within the last week?
Yeah.
Before or after he tweeted about you?
Before.
And what was that conversation like?
It's one of those that it's very consistent. He makes his case, which I respect. He would like us to do something different in Wisconsin. I explained that it's not allowed under the Constitution. He has a different opinion, then he put the tweet out. So that's it. Yeah.
That was the Republican Speaker of the Wisconsin Assembly, Robin Voss, back in July of 2022, where he said in July of 2022, Donald Trump was calling him up to tell him to overthrow the results of the 2020 election in Wisconsin. In 2022, Robin Voss right there was kind of like, oh, whatever, just called me. He said that we have a difference of ideas. And that's what Robin Voss was saying at the time. But now, in 2024, on February 23rd, 2024 to be exact, it was announced that the Trump Political Action Committee will be facing felony charges for illegal schemes in Wisconsin based upon the recommendations of a bipartisan Wisconsin Ethics Commission on Elections. It's a formal recommendation that was made to file felony charges against Trump's Save America PAC and others who were involved in what is being described as a money laundering scheme to funnel money unlawfully to Robin Voss, who you saw there's opponent in the primary opponent in the 2022 elections. Donald Trump did not want Robin Voss to prevail because Robin Voss, who, by the way, does a lot of things that I certainly disagree with, but Robin Voss would not overturn the results of the free and fair election in Wisconsin, so he became a public enemy of Donald Trump. So what happened on Friday? Well, the Wisconsin Ethics Commission on Elections made a formal recommendation for felony charges to be filed against Donald Trump's Save America PAC and several others over this alleged scheme to circumvent campaign finance laws in the state. Donald Trump's mortal enemy in Wisconsin was Speaker of the Assembly Robin Voss. Trump blamed Voss since 2020 for blocking his efforts to decertify the election results in 2020 in Wisconsin. Voss at the time basically slow-played Trump by hiring an investigator, then fired the investigator when he filed an initial report that was riddled with debunked conspiracy theories. He steadfastly denied that the 2020 election in Wisconsin was stolen, and since that time, there has been a concerted effort by Donald Trump's team and his allies to take down Voss, destroy Voss. So a MAGA candidate was propped up to run against Voss in the Republican primary in Wisconsin in 2022, someone by the name of Adam Steen. Wisconsin limits campaign contributions in state assembly races to $1,000. But what's alleged in this complaint, in this recommendation from the Wisconsin Ethics Commission, it's alleged that to kind of circumvent this $1,000, Adam Steen, the MAGA opponent of Voss, told people who wanted to bypass those limits to contribute to a local county party or local county parties who would then funnel the money to his campaign. And the complaint also notes that Donald Trump's Save America PAC donated to $5,000 to various county parties in different areas in Wisconsin in order to then have that money get funneled to Steen to circumvent the $1,000 limits. The Ethics Commission recommended to prosecutors in each of the counties that were used as the site of where the money laundering took place to file felony charges against Donald Trump's Political Action Committee, Steen, the MAGA opponent of Robin Voss, a state representative by the name of Janelle Brandtjen, who was also involved in this alleged scheme. And if ultimately the county prosecutors fail to formally bring these charges against Trump's Save America PAC, what the committee will then do, this bipartisan Wisconsin Ethics Committee, they're then going to forward the complaint to Wisconsin's Attorney General and direct Wisconsin's Attorney General to file criminal charges. So I think we will see that criminal charges will be forthcoming here as well. The Attorney General of Wisconsin is somebody by the name of Josh Kaul. And so we will see what happens next there. And if ultimately, not that, it's a bipartisan committee. Josh Kaul is a law and order Democrat. We'll see what happens there. Let me just remind you, this is from 2022. During the time where Donald Trump was attacking Robin Voss. I mean, he attacked Robin Voss consistently, but this was a speech that Donald Trump gave attacking Voss and trying to prop up the MAGA Republican opponent, who we now know that Trump's political action committee was laundering money to. Here, play this clip.
Adam Steen is running to defeat your rhino Speaker of the House, Robin Voss. Despite undeniable evidence of rigging and fraud, Speaker Voss has taken no steps to hold the Wisconsin Election Commission accountable, clean up the voter rolls, or right any of the other terrible wrongs that were identified by Justice Gableman. He identified it all. In fact, Voss said, we won't let it happen again. Well, what about 2020? They won't let it happen again. In other words, it was okay to cheat in 2020, but we won't let it happen again. He will let it happen again, but you know that. He even strongly supports unsecured drop boxes. They're totally unsecured. He also wants to have you pay a gas tax and create very expensive toll roads all over your state where you can pay tolls every time you go someplace. It would be devastating for low and middle income families, and that's why we need to fire Robin Voss and replace him with Adam Steen. Got to make sure that happens.
Yeah, so basically we were witnessing a crime right there because Donald Trump's doing that as his PAC is laundering money to the opponent of Voss, Steen, at that time. And by the way, I'll show you one of Donald Trump's other co-defendants in the criminal case and also an unindicted conspirator in the other. This is John Eastman right here. This is John Eastman, and this was taken by Undercurrent. They do some good undercover work, the Undercurrent. This is the video that they captured in 2022. I think it was around March of 2022, where Trump sent John Eastman into the Wisconsin Assembly to pressure Wisconsin Speaker of the House, Robin Voss, to decertify the 2020 election. I mean, that's how relentless these crooks are. Here, play this clip.
Now, the Wisconsin legislature, therefore, in my view, not just up until January 6th or inauguration, but today as well, has the ability to look at the assessment and say, our election was illegally certified. The consequences of that, we can fight about. Florida legislature did the same thing in 2000. When the Florida Supreme Court decided to unilaterally alter their election law and was going to try and throw that election opposite of what had happened, I was retained by the Florida legislature to help them craft legislation that would reclaim their authority to decide the electors. The House and the Senate, or the Assembly and the Senate, I forget what they call it down there, both passed that bill out of committee. It was scheduled for floor vote the week the Supreme Court decided Bush versus Gore. So what we're asking here is not something that has not been done before. What we are asking is for the legislature to assume the power that the Constitution gives to it. And if that requires that they be called back into extraordinary session, as there is no doubt that they have the authority to do, then they should do that. Now, they can't pass a set of bills for state elections without the governor's signature. But if they want to pass a resolution saying our election was illegally certified, that federal election was illegally certified, there's no power in the state other than the legislature that can stop that. Now, that just seems odd to us because we've gotten this notion that, judicial supremacy. Well, I couldn't do it without asking the court's permission. I'm sorry. Yes. There are some things that the Constitution makes you the last stop.
Yes.
And this is one of them. Yes. When you do an impeachment and it gets tried over in the Senate, so there was a lawsuit years ago. So he said, I'm not allowed to call witnesses. The Supreme Court said, we got nothing to say about it because the Constitution assigns the last stop on that process to the Senate. on this process, the last stop is the state legislature. And if they're not going to exercise the power that we, the people, gave to them, then we need to find people who will.
Amen.
So we can add yet again to all of the kind of criminal cases against Donald Trump, you know, from the Trump Organization being convicted of more than a dozen felony counts, Donald Trump being prosecuted off of 4 separate indictments in Manhattan, in D.C., in the Southern District of Florida, the Georgia criminal RICO case, in addition to all of the other civil cases. Donald Trump's Political Action Committee, that Save America group that's also funneling all of the money as well to, to Melania, to Donald Trump's private jet for the $50 million plus in legal fees. There you have them being now recommended for felony charges for money laundering in the Wisconsin election on a bipartisan basis, I should add. I'm Ben Meiselas. This is the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 3 million subscribers together. Have a great day.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.